YouTube, what's going on? Back with another video. And today we got 154 Africa. That's a podcast with Godfrey and Akbar. Title is African Americans Don't Appreciate Contributions of Immigrants. I don't know what that means, but before we get into the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Let's get into it.
Them here and we get them fighting amongst each other. I think to me, I think straight up, it's the dumbest thing ever. Like it's
the smartest thing for them,
right?
But the dumbest thing.
Yeah. So when all these clowns are like, you come in, I'm like, no, bro, like this is the wrong fight. You don't want that smoke. You don't want. It's not me you coming after. It's
I don't understand why they messing with him. You went to NFL. That's black. I mean, that's as black as you get.
CTE.
The NFL
for the culture.
I made it to the NFL. I played for the Raiders. I don't know how black he was. I played for the Raiders. I don't know how black you want me to get, brother.
So I want to talk about this because there's this term that I know people are not going to like this, but I don't like the term FBA because I think it is the most separatist term coined back in 2019 by
was it Tariq Nasheed?
Yeah,
Tariq, I know Tariq.
And Tariq Nasheed coined this term, and maybe he had good intent because it's like, hey, how do we separate when it comes to reparations and being able to say, hey, this belonged to the black slaves that came to America and their descendants. And I get that, I get and understand that concept. But what it does, it furthers this idea of separation.
Wow,
and I think back again to childhood and the stuff that even as an adult.
If you get the concept, why do you hate it? I don't understand it. If you get the concept, how can you hate it? You already explained it and said, I get it, but I hate it. How does that make sense? It's okay when foundational Black Americans, you reap the benefits of everything that comes with all the work that foundational Black Americans put in. But you hate the term because it separates the Black diaspora. Well, what about, Jamaicans, people from the islands when they say, I'm Jamaican or I'm from yada yada yada, or even people in Africa, like you said, there's 54 countries, I believe. Yeah, 54 countries, right? Everyone from those countries separate themselves. You have Nigerians, who else? People from Senegal, all over the country. They separate themselves. But when Black people do it in America, foundational Black Americans do it, it's a problem. You don't like it. It's divisive. Why you have to really, look inward or go deep and start asking yourself or people like you the question of why do I hate it? Why do I hate it? Is it because you live in America and other people that look like you are trying to separate themselves from you? Well, you already said there's a reason for that, right? I can go deep with it. Right now, I'm not going to go too deep, but there's a reason why foundational Black Americans separate themselves. I don't like when immigrant children or immigrants say that they don't like it or they hate the term FBA. It's like, it's not up for you to like or dislike, right? It is what it is, and you have to accept it. There's no in between. And I don't have no hate for immigrants. I love all the people from all the diaspora. The issue I have with, most people from the diaspora is their talking points. Like when they get on the internet and they say nasty things about foundational Black Americans, that's where I have a problem. Because I love people from Africa, Jamaica, all over the place. It's just the tethers that have something to say, and then they look down upon foundational Black Americans. Just like, well, if you're in this country and you have something bad to say about foundational Black Americans, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, especially out of nowhere. And then most of the time, the talking points that they have just be stupid and completely wrong. So let's finish.
Like, I'm not African. I'm anything but African, right? I got Indian in my blood. I'm Creole.
That's a thing. Why are you saying it like this? Like, oh, I got this, I got that, I got that. That's the thing. Some African Foundation of Black Americans have Indian in it, but like, there's Creole. That's a thing. Creole. That's a thing, right? Foundational Black Americans are not 100% African. Shit, I'm not 100% African. I got 90%. I did a DNA test. I'm 90% African, a bunch of different places in Africa. I have 10% European, but I'm 90% African. But there's other foundational Black Americans that have Indian, you know, a whole bunch of other thing. But that's what makes us different, you know, or separate. How can I say that's what makes us different from you know, Africans. You know, whereas an African is 100% African, whereas we're mixed with a bunch of different things. Even though we might look similar to you, you know, have the same skin complexion, but you know, that's what makes us different, along with, you know, other things. But so I don't understand his whole spew. I think it's more so an inner thing. I think it's more so you feel like you're left out of a conversation, or you're not invited to the quote unquote cookout. So you internalize that and you go, oh, I don't like this because it separates. Even though I grew up in America and I feel like I'm this, I'm really not that. So I don't like it. It's like, well, you have to get over that. That sounds like a you problem.
I'm anything but African. And so when you say foundationally Black American, it's like, yes, I can say I'm foundationally Black American and I am not you. I'm like, no. Because like,
I think the problem is maybe you're internalizing it like that. Maybe someone's saying, oh, I'm not African. And you instantly go, oh, that person doesn't want to be African. It's not that that person doesn't want to be African. It's just that we're just saying we're not African, which is true. We haven't been to Africa. Most of us haven't been to Africa, right? We lost our culture, created our own, and that's what it is. So when someone says, oh, I'm not African, I might have African DNA and, you know, ancestry, but I'm not African. I don't come from Africa, right? I don't live in my family has been removed from Africa from generations, right? I'm American, right? I have a bunch of other things in me. Pause. So when someone says I'm not African, that's just what it means. I'm not African.
they are the same people. You guys are brothers.
Yeah.
And they're like, my dad said y'all brother. Man, we ain't your brother. We ain't African booty scratchers. No, but we look alike. No.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, cool.
Well, this came into when reparations was being considered.
Yeah.
When reparations came in, they're like, how much are Black Americans owed?
It had to be codified.
Right. They're owed a lot.
Yeah.
They deserve
a lot.
The inventions in America are damn near all Black. Let's just keep it 100. All the stuff that people are using, from the doorknob to the escalator to the elevator to
medical devices,
refrigeration, medical devices to pacemakers to GPSs to helicopter. We can just keep going. People are using it because a lot of white inventors were able to steal patents. Like Thomas Edison stole patents.
Yeah, sure.
Lewis Latimer's patent, they stole all of it.
Yep.
So they deserve reparations. Foundation, I believe that.
100%.
Black Americans, you deserve it. Now, if there's some money left, you can give it to us because we would call. So I got. They
gonna come after you.
I called the N-word. I got called the N-word in my honors English class. What you talking about? I'm like, I get some money. Don't I get some trauma?
I say,
You don't get money because you was called the N-word. Godfrey cut it out.
I get N-word trauma.
If there's leftover,
unless they were pronouncing Nigeria wrong. I was like, it's only 1 G, man. It's not 2 G's.
I was working in Serbia, and this dude yelled at me from across the road, "Hey, N-word."
In Serbia,
and it wasn't like N-word, get out of here. It was more like, I've heard some Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar songs. Yeah. So about foundational Black Americans. I was like,
"Hey man, I just want to be my
caught
brother."
me off guard. It caught me off guard. And it was a hard R too.
The question is, do we like the term FBA?
So it's not a matter of whether we like it. Let's talk about where it originated. You both talked about reparations. Another place where it came from was this acronym of BIPOC.
Yet again, what are you talking? Do we like the term FBA? It doesn't matter if you like the term or not. It's not up for debate. It's not up for questioning. It's not up for, I hate it, we should get rid of it. It's not, you don't have a say so. That's my problem with him. Is his feelings. I feel this is like, you don't have, it's not your place to feel anything. That's like if I went to Africa, right? I moved to Africa. I'm living there for 5 years. I'm seeing the environments and everything that's going on. And I start personally feeling some type of way about what's going on. I don't have the right to feel anything, right? About the customs and things like that. There's certain places that you move to, you can't vote if you're not born. If you're not born there, if you're an immigrant, you can't vote. You can't get into like any type of seat of power. You can't become any type of politician because they know that you can't move to a land and where they have customs and you come from some other farmland, how things are done somewhere else, and you move here and you want to you can't bring your ideology here from the place that you moved to. This is just going to mess up the whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. You can't, it's all your feelings. What do we feel about FBAs? That motherfucker, it don't matter what you feel or how you feel about it.
The Black, indigenous, people of color, this whole propensity to throw everybody into one bucket, and Black Americans felt like being thrown into that bucket was going to kind of erase some of the historical context associated specifically with Black Americans. But the problem is that you all just mentioned is even though the coining of the term is valuable, if we're looking at reparations, and some municipalities are doing that, they have to codify who is in line or aligned to get this. Makes sense. The problem is people are using it instead of a bridge, they're using it as a border to keep people separate. And that can happen with anything. So it's not really about the term, it's about how do we allow white superiority ideology to infiltrate the term? Right. How do we allow that to police how we behave and how we interface with one another? And that's the problem. And so we get this new thing and we're just putting it right in the same pot that we're using to separate from one another. And that's the challenge. Every time something new happens, and it could be perfectly aimed at bringing us together, because colonialism and epigenetics are so real, we continue to separate from each other. Now, let's not even start talking about our Afro-Latino brothers and sisters.
Woo, I know black, I know black.
That's a whole different conversation.
I know, I have a video, I have a video that has been viral. It's in the zeitgeist pretty much. Yeah. It's like 6 years I did a thing where I was talking about Dominicans. Yeah. And I said, I was talking about, it's so funny how they look just like us and be like, I know black, Papa, I know black. Yeah. I'm Dominican. I said, yeah, that's a place.
But yeah, Dominicans have the right to feel like that though. Even though their skin is black, they have the right to feel like that. They have the right to feel like that. They come from the Dominican of Republic. They are mixed with not only African, but the Spaniards, Europeans. So they're not just African, even though they look black. Yes, majority of their DNA is African, right? But they have other things in them, right? They're not 100% African, which makes them, right? So even though when they say, "Oh, I'm not black, I'm Dominican," they have a point. They're not black. They're Dominican. They're not trying to say ill black people. Some of them do. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them do. But for the majority, they're not going, oh no, I hate black people. It's just like, no, I'm Dominican. This is what I am. You can't just erase their culture and what they've been through because you feel like they're trying to disassociate themselves from Africa. That's not how that works. And for a while, I had that same kind of like logic, like why they feel like they not black, or they think they, or whatever. But then I had to sit down and stop being ignorant, right? And sure, you have the people that feel like they trying to do that. They're trying to dissociate themselves from Africa. Sure, but the majority are not. They're not saying like we hate black people. They're just saying, listen, this is what we are. And you have to respect that. If a group of people are saying this is what we are, you can't go, no, you're not. You're this, you're that. No.
But you're a black person in the Dominican Republic. I know black, Papa. I know black guys say, you look like me.
We just got dropped off at different locations.
And we're both in handcuffs.
No.
Literally.
No, just kidding.
No, literally.
But I say I know black, but it's like, and then I have, the joke I have is, let's say black Americans were to get their reparations. Let's say they got every dime. Dominicans would be like, I'm black. I was just kidding. I'm black. I was a slave.
You know,
Wade in the agua. Wade in the agua, listen. I'm black. Chocolate, look. I was just kidding. It was a yoke. A yoke.
it was
a yoke.
So I guess let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. What does it mean to be black? What is black? Because
what is it? What is it?
It's a great question because I think for me, I'm hoping that it resolve this idea of you're not black, you're black, but you're not black. Yeah. You know, like you don't get your black card, right? Yeah. We've all hold the black card, right? If you do anything that breaks out, you're not black.
This definition of blackness, we were all sharing stories earlier about how in our urban communities we were told we don't speak like the other black guys, and we don't maybe do some of the other things like the other black guys do. Humor and this anxious humor is what comes out of what we call horizontal hostility. It is less dangerous for me to confront the system that creates the dynamics that we're in. And so instead of aggressing towards the system that is creating this, I aggress horizontally amongst my peers and amongst those who look like me, because that's easier. And so as a result, we create this dynamic whereby this blackness is the blackness to be revered. And then you have this blackness. I mean, you have these conversations going on right now between, these black upper echelon groups like the Divine Nine fraternity sororities. Yes. Is it okay for kids to be in Jack and Jill, those who can't get in Jack and Jill? Is it okay for you to do guards? All these things, all these conversations are happening because the world has not allowed us to have a malleable community. Remember, whiteness has been malleable for generations. When Irish people arrived on this land, they weren't considered white at all. No. When other European immigrants arrived on this land, none of them were white. Nope. And so the descendants of the colonists began to see the difference happening in the numbers of people, like we see right now. For the first time in American history, the 2020 census showed a decline in the number of individuals on the census who identify as white only. It threw white Americans
it's a done deal.
Done. Yeah, it scared them because
if you came from Europe, you're white. Any country in Europe, you're white. That's just that's the truth.
Idea of your identity no longer holding dominance is a deal breaker. And then we just got news that for the first time last year in 2025, I think, we had the first time where the numbers of babies born in America, the numbers of babies born who were identified as not white, was more than the number of babies born who were identified as white. So I'm saying all this to say that identity holds such a strong component of us. And when we talk about blackness, we have not been allowed to be as malleable as whiteness. So whiteness continued to grow until it's absorbed every cultural background that it could. The last group were individuals who identified as Persian. The Kardashians would not have been white 50 years ago. Today they are white. And so I'm saying,
which is insane. They're Armenian.
Well, I'm saying that's the malleability of the group. When they see that the numbers are decreasing,
they start adding.
Isn't Armenia in Europe?
They start adding people
except us.
So there's no.
So they even take our light skin.
There's no way to phenotypically.
We got light skin ones. They be like, whoa. Are the light skin ones get considered white?
So
yet?
This is
those
like
are the passing ones.
Look, so I was up in this thing to see. I hit CJ. I was like, man, this stuff is crazy on here. So to take away my black card, I don't know how you can take it. I'm African. I grew up in. I don't know how you can take it away. They go, well. His wife is white. I was like, no, she's biracial. Well, she's light. I'm like, wait, so you get to pick which side she's on? I'm like, absolutely. Wait, do you get to pick which side Barack is on? Do you get to pick which side Matt Barnes is on? Do you get to pick which side Steph Curry's on? Like, wait, what? I was like, So based off of how we feel about you, we determine then what my spouse is. First off, keep my wife out your mouth. Keep my wife out your mouth.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth. How about that?
Yeah, I was like, what?
For starters.
How about that? I'm outside, son.
To your point, is this like now we're going based off of shade. Well, this light-skinned person's black and this light-skinned person.
It's been happening. Lenny Kravitz has not been, until the last 10 years, Lenny Kravitz had not been embraced by black media. Lenny Kravitz was not at the NAACP Awards 20 years ago. He was not at,
That's because black people weren't listening to Lenny Kravitz. I think black people still don't listen to Lenny Kravitz. It's not because we hate him. It's just that the type of music he makes, we don't listen to. The average black person anyway. So it's not like he just wasn't in the sphere of things that, you know, we were listening to or we paid attention to like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't until like a certain point where people started paying attention to Lenny Kravitz like that. So it had nothing to do with its color or anything like that. What he's talking about, though, the people that make those comments about his wife are complete idiots, right? In my opinion, if you're white passing, you're white. I don't care if your father's black, and usually most of the time, when they say that, the father's like a quarter black or some dumb shit like that. If you're a white passing, you're white. That's simple. That's logic. Like if you're a white passing, you're white. Like Drake, he's black, right? His father's black. He's light skinned, but he's black. J. Cole, anyone light skinned that looks black, you're black. But if you are white, like like I could bring up Blake Griffin. He's a weird one because he has black features, but if he was to cut his hair, you would think he was a white man, right? You would have to really squint at him and go, I don't know. So Blake Griffin is an iffy one. He's one of those ones you put like, I don't know about him, right? Ambiguous. That's what he is. But for the most part, if you're white passing, you're white. There's no in between.
His mother is the blackest black character ever on TV. One of the most important black characters ever on TV from the Jeffersons. And so for him to be snubbed by black business media, it speaks to what we're talking about. He did not define what Black America wanted Black America to be. And as a result, he and individuals, like I said, Andre 3000, all those De La Soul,
he's talking bullshit. Now he's talking bullshit. De La Soul, Andre 3000, the black media and culture have been fucking with them. I don't know what he's talking about. He had it on Lenny Kravitz. Black people were not paying attention to Lenny Kravitz. So if black people are not paying attention to you, it don't matter if you're black or not, right? The corporations and media is not going to pay attention to you like that. You might have fans and do good and sell out shows, and you know, white people might go to your shows and stuff like that, but the black people are not going to, you know what I mean? If we not into it, we just not into it. But he talking about 100,000 De La Soul. Cut it out, sir.
On this other side, even Diggable Planets, they were placed on this other side. They're not really black, but
it's the rejection because it feels like the rejection is to force conformity. If you are not this, then you are out. Is that accurate?
No, the rejection is to maintain separation.
Yeah, no doubt. But the sad part about it is,
and that's another part.
Being alternative is not a white thing. You're talking about. You got Parliament P-Funk, who Red Hot Chili Peppers stole everything because they inducted George Clinton into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They said, Keyless, the lead said, every genre of American music is black. And so he goes, we Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're on stage naked. Parliament had been doing that in 1978. And even was it David Gruhl from Foo Fighters? He goes, you know where I got my drumming from? From the Gap Band.
The Gap Band.
But all of them do that. They take all the from black. You know, Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is the name of two black blues singers, Pink and Floyd. So I mean, they're always
country
taking
music.
Black, of course it is.
They call the Carter family the foundational country music,
which is bull.
Was being taken around the whole South with a black dude learning all this.
Stuff.
This is all deliberate to maintain black music, white music. It's not
race.
A thing.
Remember Race Records? They have
Absolutely.
race records where black people couldn't even be on the cover of their own albums.
That's right.
You know, but
so everything you're describing is purposeful. And I hate to keep saying that and keep grounding it in this kind of colonial framework, but all these things are aimed at keeping the narrative and the argument over here to avoid having this conversation about what colonialism consistently today does to us. When I meet brothers in London or in Paris, we're all talking about the same thing. Black men in London and Paris are also dying of heart disease earlier. They're also being locked up more. My first book just narrates all of that across Canada, the UK, everywhere.
Same thing.
So can I ask this then? Because this is kind of the question that I think that I asked to Godfrey, that just blew everything up.
That started all the drama.
Thing is like, how can we show Black African immigrants here in America, how can we show them appreciation? Because it seemed and felt like it was a sin to even ask. How dare you ask for appreciation? And furthermore, there were those who said, what contributions have Black African immigrants made to this country? And I'm going, wait, what?
Dumb.
I said, first start off with Barack Obama, right? That's an easy one to.
Have you ever been
What? What? Gosh, bro. And then you say Barack Obama. Oh gosh. Bro. That was a horrible example. That was a horrible example. What contributions have immigrants made to this country? And you say Barack Obama? Barack Obama had a job that lasted 8 years. And some would argue he did nothing for Black people. And you brought up Barack Obama. Yes, he was technically the first Black president, but that's it. That's it. You thought you cooked with that? Like, you put a Barack Obama. You got to come strong with that, because when he brought it up, like, show some appreciation for Black immigrants. Like, what? Did I miss something? Am I lost? Someone enlighten me.
Toppins. And so I think that the reason why you receive so much vitriol is because your request for respect for the contributions of Black immigrants was juxtaposed to a conversation about Black Americans. And I think had it been an individual conversation solely about looking at the values and benefits that all immigrants bring to this land, including African immigrants, it would have been a very different conversation. But and I watched it, it came off as though it was an either or. And I know that wasn't your intent, but
it's almost like, be thankful. You need to thank Black immigrants for da 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 da. But they always say that, and it's like, you don't come with anything. What do Black Americans or Americans in general have to be thankful for Black immigrants? I'm literally trying to think. I'm trying to think. Even if you helped, even if there were certain individuals that helped during like civil rights, it's like you helped. There was certain people that helped during the civil rights. So you can't be like, oh, you need to give thanks, because we would have did it without the help of one person or two people or three people. So it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other type of event or situation where Black immigrants help America or Black Americans in general. I can't think of one, because any situation, Black people have been doing it and continue to do it by ourselves or with people or without people, because we never had help until people started feeling our pain. It was like, you know what? We don't like what they're going through, so let's help. We see them fighting already, but let's help them fight. So it's not like you did anything in particular to help us, or I'm confused when they bring that up. It's like, it's weird. But if you say, oh, give some appreciation to immigrants in whole as a whole, you could bring up a bunch of things, because there's a bunch of different, ethnic groups that did certain things out through American history. Immigrants, So I don't know.
the process shows that the trauma is then popped up, and we don't even know what is happening.
Right.
And so everybody on their Twitter fingers, or whatever it is, everybody on their, anonymous Twitter fingers, they're coming at you, not realizing that they're also responding to a trauma trigger because they've been activated now.
And I think too,
I was
because
gonna say when Shabuzi, who's Nigerian, won his award, he went on stage and said, "I just want to say that immigrants helped build the country," and I think he was answering to ICE. He wasn't answering to Black Americans. He was just saying that because of the things that were happening with ICE, everyone trying to deport immigrants. He was saying, and so they got on him and say, "No, Black Americans." I said, I don't think he meant Black Americans like that, because he's participating in a Black American art form. He meant.
It doesn't matter what he meant. It's about what you say. It doesn't matter. Like, remove the feelings, right? It doesn't matter about what you know what I mean, what you feel or what you think he meant. He said what he said, right? Then he had to make an apology, right? You can't say, "Oh, shout out to the immigrants because we built this country." What? What are you talking about? Immigrants didn't build the country. You just sound crazy, right? You might have had like, "Oh, we are a major, contributor to this country." No one would have had an argument with that. But you said built, and that's where people had a problem. See, the issue I have is when people sleight of hand, when people think, like, try to move the goalpost, right? "Oh, he didn't mean it like this. He meant it like this." It's like, no, he said what he said, and then he had to apologize because it was an asinine statement, right? Maybe people shouldn't be talking out their asses. Maybe people should think before they speak.
Because of what was happening with ICE, he was like, immigrants help build.
It was taken out of context.
Because Black Americans, I always know they built this damn country.
But let's
period.
be fair. We can say that, and we can say that there are Black Americans who frown on on African immigrants.
Of course.
And minimize the contribution.
Which is dumb, because
You have some Black people that do that, true. But it's all trauma. Like, right? They keep speaking about traumas. The only weird thing is that the trauma that they bring, well, that Akbar brings up, is that he was teased as a kid. It's like most Americans are teased as kids. I was teased as a kid. I was fat when I was younger. I got teased for that. Got teased for a bunch of dumb shit. You learn to adapt in America, especially in Black households or neighborhoods. It's called playing a dozen. It's called cutting ass. It's called the whatever the fuck you call it, wherever you from. But you getting joked on, right? It starts at an early age, right? So when you get and if you're American, right, as you claim, and you grew up in these communities, you should know that. But the fact that you use it and you go, "Oh, it's trauma because they call me African booty scratcher." "Oh, it's trauma." It's like they were teasing you, right? I'm pretty sure some of them people that called you that are your friends now, right? It's called playing a dozen. If you were sensitive, that's one thing. Say I was a sensitive little kid, I couldn't take a joke, it traumatized me because this, that, and that. I don't know why it traumatized you. You're African, right? I don't fucking know. But they're jokes. Sometimes it's out of love, but kids are mean. When you get older and people cut ass, that's just how, Black people joke to show love after a certain point. But when you a kid, you just doing it out of spite. You mean you don't know no better. And it's like you keep bringing it up as trauma. It's trauma. It's trauma. It's like, fuck up.
because it's a combination. You look at hip hop and how many Jamaicans contribute to.
Absolutely.
How many rappers are Jamaican? Because there's a battle between but Jamaican Americans, Kool Herc, KRS-One, they're Jamaicans. Let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of contributions of Caribbeans. Shirley Chisholm. You got Chisholm, who's Caribbean. You got Esther Roll, who's Bahamian. You got Sidney Poitier, who won the first Oscar as a Black, but he was Caribbean. So we're all in the same game. It's like,
he has a point, right? Some of them with the hip hop things, like some of them in that group were Caribbean, right? But they grew up in the inner cities of New York. They didn't have a Jamaican experience, right? They had a inner city Black American experience, right? And a group of them, right? Because it wasn't just the Jamaicans that just created, it was a group of them that created this art form, right? Other people were doing it. They just got known for doing it. So it been around like in that neighborhood, right? That art form. So they, even though they pioneered it, they technically probably never really created it. They just brought it to the forefront. But let's just stick with that core group, right? It was all of them weren't Jamaican, right? But they grew up in the inner cities. They didn't have a Jamaican upbringing, right? They rapped about what they seen around them, which was the inner cities of New York.
Everybody's contributing, but we do know who the foundation is, who built it. But from there, we should stop arguing about this and know it.
But it's never been challenged. I guess what I'm saying, and like even when you and I were talking, and I think a lot of that came from me and agreeing with you. I was like, yeah, I get it. But we're not talking about the other side. But you went on your historical thing, right? And I'm going, yeah, I get it. Yep, I get it. But it was just like, wait, there's another side that has to be, like, we have to understand because we don't talk about it, right? A lot of times, like the things that we're talking about, the stuff that we're talking about now, as God is my witness, I just went to a basketball game and I told CJ this and I said, South African lady, I'm not going to do the accent because you're going to get on me. I already know.
No, I want you to do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. She came to me and she said, no. And she said to me, she goes, I just want to say thank you.
No.
In tears, she said, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Because, no, I'm not going to do it.
Come on,
but she said, I want to thank you because what you're talking about is the things that we suffered in silence. Who are you going to go cry to and tell that, they're making fun of me and the way I'm being treated at work. Yeah. They disrespect me. They don't value me at work because I'm African, literally because I'm African. Right. And it's not from the white people that they're getting it from. They're getting it from the people that they call their own.
And remember, this is not unique to us.
Yeah.
This is Cuban on Mexicans. Yeah. Like, this is not unique to us. This is a dynamic that exists to maintain the narrative of white superiority ideology. If we can keep all of the Black and brown people fighting against one another, we maintain control.
That's it.
We maintain control. And so when we talk about, the little Black kids who are in this circle or that circle or from this place or that place, we're conditioned to have beef against each other, whether it's socioeconomic status, whether it's the way you speak, whether it's where you're from. I mean, people have neighborhood beefs. This is the goal to maintain separation and to maintain this, like I said, maintain this horizontal hostility. That's the goal.
I want to talk because you've brought this up before when we've talked about, where it's King Leopold and colonization and how that still happens today in a lot of areas. We haven't talked about the German leader, Lothar von Trotha, right?
I'm going to stop the video right there. The video was about 2 hours long. I didn't feel like watching the whole thing in its entirety. Why the fuck am I slipping up on my words? Okay. I'm going to stop the video right there. The video was pretty long. I think it's like 2 hours long. If y'all want to finish watching the video, I'll leave the link in the description. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about basically what Akbar is saying. I hope I'm saying his name right. If I'm not, please forgive me. But let me know what y'all think. Should FBAs show more appreciation to Black immigrants? Y'all let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.